and girls, ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages, we have won. Now, but it might not be the biggest victory out there. It might not be everything we've wanted just yet, but ladies and gentlemen, gamers have won. Because if you didn't know, this was a little bit of a Stellar Blade controversy going on out there, ladies and gentlemen, because of course the early releases, the initial releases of the game out there saw some very wonderful outfits that everybody absolutely loved on a wonderful character that is a strong female protagonist who absolutely kicks butt and takes names throughout an entire game, who is absolutely awesome and is lovely as well to look at. Because if you're going to spend 8, 16, 24, 35, 40, 50 hours playing a game as a female protagonist, you definitely don't want to look at something hideous, which of course is what a lot of the modern games have been trying to give us for so long. So, well, boys and girls, there was a later edition out there that when there was an update, the first day update for the game, censored a lot of those outfits that so many people absolutely loved and were excited about to play and acquire in the game. Well, of course, this did not make the gamers out there happy, especially a lot of people that had pre-ordered this game, because there was a huge pre-order for this game because so many people were excited about it, and the company behind it absolutely said that they were not going to censor the game for any country out there. You would see it as an entirety, and in a world where we see so much censorship happening in Hollywood, in media, and entertainment, and especially in video games, this was so refreshing to hear. So a lot of fans were very excited about this, only to have a day one patch come out, and anybody that had bought it digitally have all of these wonderful outfits censored right there from the beginning. And boys and girls, fans were not happy about it. And Grums, a former video game developer who is somebody that's been an inside of the industry and knows how all of this stuff works, decided to call it out and make sure that everybody was very well aware of it. And shout out to Grums. He is doing the Lord's work out there. Well, all of his Lord's work out there, ladies and gentlemen, all of his hard work, all of his dedication, and all of the hard work and dedication to all of you fans and gamers out there who have signed his petition, have gone out there and retweeted and talked about it and made sure you made your voices heard. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a victory for you today. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, take that white pill, enjoy the small victories, and remember that we are winning and that your voice matters. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, one of the very first tweets I saw this morning made me very happy to see. It is another victory in the hands of all of the fans and gamers out there who are not completely and totally insane and possessed by the spirit of the cult. Because as you can see here from this tweet from Grums, we did it. You did it. Hashtag Free Stellar Blade celebrates as Shift Up and Celebrate Uncensor outfits. Thank you, everyone who participated in this 8-step plan and the petition. Thank you, Jammed Third, for listening to gamers. Please sign the petition, which will now be sent as a gift to Shift Up. So many have helped to make this possible, and everyone worked so very hard. Gamers' voices are small but growing. Our wins will be bigger and bigger over time. So as you can see here, the latest patch, the latest update that they gave to the game, gave us 2 new extra skins for the game that are now the uncensored outfits that we all saw in the original version of the game. Now, of course, the game developers and all this stuff, and of course, a lot of people believe that it was Sony that was requiring the censorship, because we've seen a lot of the kind of stuff that's happened with Sony lately and how much they've been taken over by the spirit of the age, and how much they've been complicit in all of this kind of stuff. So that's why a lot of people believed it. Now, of course, there was things that came out later that said, no, that was their original intent, was to have that censored, that what you saw in the original disc version was never meant to be there. Of course, this could just end up being a bunch of nonsense. This could be a bunch of covering afterwards, and it could be a bunch of stuff that people don't trust. Well, as you can see right here, these are the new 2 outfits that you got in the latest patch update. So now, as you can see, these are 2 of the outfits a lot of people were complaining about that now are back to their original versions. Now, they're extra costumes. They are extra skins that you can now get for free, but these are in addition to the original, also censored version. So guess what? All of you out there that cried and whined and complained about these sexy outfits, guess what? You don't have to play with them. You can use the censored versions. But boys and girls, as usual, that is never enough for these psychopaths out there, for these people absolutely possessed by the spirit of the age. Because even with this beautiful win, that is something we should all take heart in and be absolutely positive and proud of, well, the other best part, boys and girls, is people are losing their absolute ever-loving minds over it, ladies and gentlemen, because we have an article over here from Forbes that says Stellar Blade patch, boss rush mode, and quote-unquote uncensored outfits. Now, Paul Tassi, you think just from the headline this isn't so bad, right? This isn't through anything too crazy, but wait till we get to the list, few paragraphs, boys and girls, because the salt is flowing incredibly from this individual. And ladies and gentlemen, they also have a bunch of other updates as to what this patch also includes besides the uncensored outward. But listening to their salt flow is absolutely hilarious, and it's funny, and these people should be made fun of and laughed at, because guess what? Gamers are winning. The fans are winning. You out there are winning and saving Western civilization every single time you help out with something like this, and they cannot stand it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to check out this article from Forbes.com, getting all of the juicy details and revel in the salt of this man. Although I use that word very loosely, it's tears, because it is a beautiful thing, boys and girls. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe, and or follow if you have not already. Leave us a comment down below and think about financially supporting if you can. But if not, likes, shares, comments, all of that stuff's for free, and it really completely and totally helps out. So boys and girls, Paul Tassi, a senior contributor over at Forbes, who does news and opinion about video games, television, movies, and the internet. And of course, you can see here the difference in choices of pictures that our dear sweet Grums used and old Pauly Boy over here, old Pauly Boy used. Stellar Blade has got its first major patch, which adds some significant new challenging content and ends what was one of the most bizarre controversies at launch. Here's what's been added. A bizarre controversy? Wait, fans getting upset about getting what that they were shown and what they paid for and what they pre-ordered for is bizarre. I wonder where he stands on this. Boss Rush Mode. This is a new challenge where players are tasked with fighting all the game's bosses in different settings as a new pursuit. This challenge rewards what else? A brand new outfit in the game. The Neuralink set seen below, which that looks pretty cool. That's pretty snazzy, cool looking outfit. Got a nice little midriff thing going on for it. Looks lovely. I absolutely like it. Quality of life. They've added a few things like an auto lock on when exiting range mode, an option to show the compass in the HUD, and they've increased the time limit for puzzles. There are also some balance and control improvements, but I'm not sure we know all the specifics yet. Kanuchi outfits. There are 2 new outfits the game says can be obtained at Adam's Safe House, but I just got a prompt that they were auto added to my inventory when I logged in. You do not have to buy the patterns or pay to craft them. They're very good. One is the lead image up there. The other is a gray variant. Talking about this black one up here, which does look cool. I agree with Paul on that. It does look like a really neat outfit. Like that's something that I think would look really cool in live as somebody that's cosplaying that kind of stuff as well. So here's where the salt starts, boys and girls, because uncensored outfits. Here we go. After months of complaints that Stellar Blade had been censored, presumably at Sony's behalf, in regard to 2 of Eve's outfits in particular, well, they ended that dispute. Shift Up maintained that the on-disc outfits were not the intended final outcome for those outfits. Then why were they put on the disc? Right, we all get that pretty much there's always a day one patch, which is stupid in the video game industry to begin with. Why do you not sell actually finished games? Why do we need a 1-day patch, first day patch for any of this kind of nonsense? I don't know, but welcome to the world we currently live in, ladies and gentlemen. That's the current state of the modern industry. So nonetheless, if that was not intended as the final version, why did you put it on the disc? That's why nobody believes you on that. So the tiny amount of extra fabric added was not out of a censorship concerns. It was just a design choice. There are plenty of even more revealing outfits in the game. Oh, yes, of course. I'm sure it had nothing to do with that whatsoever, especially concerning the state of current Western civilization and all of your sensibilities that little weirdos like Pauly here get offended by, and also get offended by the fact that gamers, fans, and paying customers got what they wanted. That did not satisfy a particular crowd who maintained this way was purposeful censorship, something they believed was demanded by Sony for release, despite there being no evidence that this was the case. This resulted in a hashtag Free Stellar Blade social media campaign, mostly focused on the outfits, which has now been successful and led by our dear sweet friend Grums, which of course you don't want to name in the article because that would give him more representation. That would give him credit for what he has pulled off and what the rest of us have helped him with. No. And give him more popularity. No, you can't name that. You couldn't possibly name our dear sweet Grums, now could you? Now Stellar Blade has released 2 outfits that are not patching or changing the old outfits, which still look the same, but they are variants with the censored bits removed. AKA, they are very revealing in the pelvis and chest regions, as apparently nature intended. Essentially, everyone who is upset about this is considering it a win, Because it is. We won. You lost. Cry about it some more, please. Though some are still saying uncensored the original outfits, like that even matters anymore with the release of these. You pick these up from Roxanne, the black market dealer. They cost 10 Bitcoin each and must be crafted. Still easy to acquire. I'd say this was unfolding that I figured Shift Up would eventually do something like this, either changing the original outfits or doing what they're doing here. They are a company that is absolutely forthright about their intention to make sexy characters. What's wrong with that? And demands those outfits weren't sexy enough, and a game full of extremely sexy outfits was probably always going to lead them to the, okay, sure, whatever, here are your sexier versions, so here we are. Oh, so you don't like the company either to begin with because, God forbid, they make their female protagonists badass and good looking. Can't have that. You'd rather have us see nothing but ugly women in the world, which is probably the only ones that have ever paid you any kind of attention whatsoever. The bad part of this cult of this is that the culture war folks have been rewarded for their frankly ridiculous campaign lambasting this game. Yeah. Oh, what a tragedy. Paying customers got what they asked for. I know. The horror, the abomination of it all. Oh, it's tragic. It's going to be worse than Donald Trump winning in 2016. Oh, the horror. Paying customers, fans, the audience, the people who actually enjoy these things got what they want. I know. The horror of it all. Such horror. Such horror. For frankly, their ridiculous campaign lambasting this game. The developers, Sony, everyone for the original outfits change are some sort of conspiracy which did not exist. How would you know that? Did you even ask? The outfits themselves are fine. Again, there are a dozen of outfits, at least this revealing in the game. Oh, so it goes from more revealing to at least this revealing game. So you're already backtracking in your own article, but you know most people won't read past the headline. So you can get away with that, right? Well, that's okay, because we read till the end. But this being a reward for this group and their behavior is not a great look. Oh, well, we don't care about your great looks or how things work for you or anything else. Because guess what? At the end of the day, the customers and everything else are what matters. Everything else are what matters at the end of the day. And guess what? Yeah, we got rewarded. Customers, people who paid for things, complained, and they won. But this being a reward for this group and their behavior is not a great look. Oh, well, too bad. Whine some more, cry some more, because guess what? Gamers won. Customers won. I don't care if you in your ivory tower with your identity politics and the demon that possesses you, part of the spirit of the age. I don't care if you disagree with this, because at the end of the day, you don't matter. You're somebody who works for a legacy media company who doesn't buy the games. You probably got an early access copy of it. You don't buy the toys. You don't buy the figurines. And you sure as hell don't go out there and try to promote it or play it on stream like the rest of us do. We promote these games. We are fans of these games. We pay for these games. Unlike you and your access media bullshit, Polly. I'm sorry that you're upset that the customers and the fans won. Well, guess what? Cry me a river some more and get your bucket ready, buddy, because you're going to be crying a whole hell of a lot more salty tears going forward, because this is just the beginning. It might be a small victory, but it's the first in many, ladies and gentlemen. It will not end here. Grums is right. This is a victory for all of you out there who stood by, who dedicated your time, your extra time, your free time to push this out there, to sign this kind of stuff and share it out with out with all your friends. You have won. Is it everything we wanted? No. But is it something more than we ever expected to get? Yes. And that, boys and girls, is a feather in every one of your caps. So take a victory lap, ladies and gentlemen. And then remember, we are far from done and we cannot let up. This is a long battle. This is a long war. And this is just the first of many wins in it. But we cannot let the pressure up now, and we cannot let them forget that at the end of the day, the customers and the fans decide what works, not some moron idiot working for the legacy media who didn't even pay for the damn game to begin with.